Morning, lovely students. So, here today, let's begin with the very interesting chapter of biology, that is chapter 8, Cell, class 8, subject science. Let's begin. So, let's start with chapter 8, Cell, structure and functions. Now, first of all, who discovered the cell? In 1965, Robert Hooke, you can see him in the picture, observed slice of cork from the bark of a tree under a simple magnifying glass because at that time might not be a proper microscope for research. He noticed small boxes or the compartments in the cork slice. The boxes were separated from each other by a wall or the partition. He named each box as the cell. So, the cell which Hooke observed were actually the dead cells of plants, and that way cells came into the existence and they started researching over the cell. Let's talk about what is cell. Cells are basic structural units of living organism. Some organisms are made up of single cell and some are made up of many cells. So, the organism made up of single cell is called unicellular organism, and the organism made up of more than one cell is called multicellular organism. So, guess what? Human beings are unicellular or multicellular? Of course, we are multicellular organism. The number of cells in the tall tree or an animal like elephant or human beings are billions and trillions of the cells. Organisms made up of many cells are called multicellular organism. Example tree, elephant, humans. And organisms made up of only one cell are called unicellular organism. For example, amoeba and paramecium. You can see them. Paramecium is of slipper cell, slipper shape structure, and amoeba is irregular shape single cell organism. Shape of cells. Cells are of different shapes. You can see in the given image. Cells, some keep changing their shape like amoeba, white blood cells in human, whereas some cells are spherical, round, elongated, spindle shape or the branched shape. You can see that the only visible cell through naked eyes is nerve cells. You can see the figure of nerve cell in this given PPT. Rest all cells you can't see them naked eyes because you need to see them using microscope. What are the sizes of cells? Cells in the living organisms are of different sizes. They may be small as the millionth of meter, that is micrometer or micron, or as large as few centimeters. The smallest cell is the cell of bacteria, which is 0.1 to 0.5 micrometer, whereas the largest cell is the egg of an ostrich. You can see in the figure, which is 17 centimeter by 13 centimeter, which is quite visible with the naked eyes. And you can see the other cells on the left hand side, which are the pictures taken through the microscope. Now, whenever you'll come in the 10th standard or 11th standard, we will do the practical to observe the onion pill cells and the chick cells. So this is the onion cell. How does it look like? It look like a wall, brick wall, and you can see the chick cell as well. They are spherical and you can find a dense rounded structure in the center which we call as nucleus, the brain and the controlling body of the cell. Let's talk about the structure of plant cell. You can see that the plant cells have proper cell wall which helps plant for the protection. You can find that chloroplasts are also present and chromatin structure which imparts generally a green-yellow color in the plant. Mitochondria is there, which is also called as the kitchen or the powerhouse of the cell. You can find the huge vacuole in the plant cell that is responsible for the retention of water, because whenever the plant will receive water, it will try to store water in the form of vacuoles. Cell walls are there for the outer protection. Plasma membrane act as the door. It is the selective membrane. It will allow certain molecules inside and certain molecule exit from inside to outside. So basic major important cell organelles in the structure of plant cells are cell wall, cell membrane, vacuole, chloroplast, nucleus and mitochondria. Let's have a look to structure of an animal cell. You can see there is a huge difference between the structure of plant cell and the animal cell. Here, the animal cell is not having cell wall, and that is why every animal grow differently, or we can say every animal has a unique shape and structure. Also, they have well-defined nucleus, plus they have certain ribosome and the Golgi bodies and rough endoplasmic reticulum as well as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Animal cell also possess a suicidal bag which is known as lysosome, which will eat all the waste material present inside the animal cell. You can see that all the cell organelles are floating within the cell plasm, cytoplasm or cell membrane. In examination, they can ask you to draw a structure of an animal cell. So majorly you will show a well-defined nucleus which has nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm and nucleus in the center. It has genetic material, a thread-like structure which is called the chromatin. It also has the cytoplasm or the fluid-like structure which has all the cell organelles floating inside. Lysosome is there, ribosomes which are the protein synthesis machines, as well as mitochondria. Vacuoles are very small and endoplasmic reticulum, which we also call smooth or rough ER, are present. Here, fat storage body called Golgi complex or Golgi bodies are also present in the animal cell. Now let's have a look to the parts of cell in the detail. Now, parts of cell. The main parts of a cell are cell membrane or a plasma membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. The cell membrane gives the shape to the cell, protects the inner parts of cell and allow movement of material in and out. So in general, cell membrane work as the selective membrane, or you can say a security gate, which will only allow certain molecules to enter within the cell and certain molecule to expel out. In plant cell, the cell membrane is covered by another thick covering called cell wall. Because plants are been eaten by the herbivorous, so just to protect their internal organs, the plant cell further has the outermost protecting cover called cell wall. Cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance between the cell membrane and the nucleus. It contains other components like organelles. Examples are mitochondria, Golgi body, ribosomes and vacuoles. The nucleus is the spherical body generally found near the center of the cell. Its membrane is called nuclear membrane. It has the smaller spherical body within, which is called nucleolus, and a thread-like structure called chromosome, which carries DNA or genetic information about that cell. The chromosome carries genes which transfer the characters from parents to the offspring. Right? Now, vacuoles are the blank-looking structure in the cytoplasm. Vacuoles are large in the size in the plants because they have to retain the water, and the small in the animal cells. You can find the similarities and the difference between animal cell and the plant cells. Here, the major difference are the plant cell have cell wall, chloroplast, and the vacuoles are generally larger, whereas in animal cell wall is absent, vacuoles are there but very small, but no chloroplast or green color pigment is found in animal cell. So here is the comparison between the plant and animal cell, which is really important question frequently asked in the examination. Let's talk about the key points of animal cell. Cell wall is absent, plastids are absent, centriosomes are present, absence of large vacuoles, and carbohydrates are stored as the glycogen. Lysosomes are present. Lysosomes are called the suicidal bag or the organelle which will engulf all unnecessary materials within the cell. Now let's have a look to the plant cell. Now cell wall is present, plastids are present, centriosomes are absent, presence of large water vacuole, carbohydrates are stored in the form of starch, not as the glycogen, and lysosome is usually absent in the plant cell. Here, this is the comparison of plant cell and animal cell. This you have to draw in your notebook so you can easily remember this. So this was the all introductory video about the chapter 8, cell, its structure and the function. I hope you have understood this. See you with the next videos. Bye bye.